All right, well, it is 12 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. A few more people might join us, but I will introduce myself. My name is Megan Lassiter. I am the Family and Consumer Sciences agent here in Brunswick County, and I'm really happy because Angie Lawrence, our EFNEP Nutrition Educator, is going to present to us today a little bit more about reading the nutrition facts label. So this is a skill I think is really important for any adult to have to make the best choices for them nutritionally and for their families as well. If you're at home and you want to grab an item to kind of read along and practice, feel free to. And we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. So please feel free to type in the chat whatever you need to do. And I'll hand it over to Angie.
Okay, let me make sure. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure my internet's okay and y'all can hear me because I keep switching positions. I'm now at my mom's house in the playroom. I'm helping my mom out today. So, my name is Angie Lawrence, like she said. Oh, let me turn my phone off. And I am the nutrition educator for Expanded Food Nutrition and Education Program. I work with limited resource families to help them make healthy behavior choices. I help them learn how to cook healthy, learn food and cleanliness, safety, make sure that they're clean in the kitchen. And we also exercise together. I actually teach kindergarten through 155, however old you are. So today we're going to talk about nutrition labels, and let's go on to the next slide. So nutrition labels contain lots of information that help you make healthier choices and can help you during the Maintain, Don't Gain holiday challenge. Next. Then, oh yes, okay. So because if you want to know what foods during a holiday dining have fewer calories, less fat, and how to compare the nutrients in similar foods, the best place to check is the nutrition labels. So we have calories. You want to check your calories, total fat, and the nutrients. Okay. So I bet you're wondering, so hey, if I go to a holiday party, how am I going to check the nutrition facts label at the holiday party? Well, I'm going to share with you two of my favorite apps, which is Spark People Calorie Counter and MyFitnessPal. So both of these apps you can find on the App Store. They're free. I originally started using MyFitnessPal until I found Spark People. And the thing I like the most about the Spark People is the fact that it actually, you can look up anything. You can type in green bean casserole and it'll give you 50 different green bean casseroles. So you just kind of look through them and decide which one you're going to pick. You could ask the person who made it, hey, did you make the Del Monte green beans or did you make the one on the back of the fried onions box? So you can look that up. And then when you actually press green bean casserole, it gives you a nutrition facts label and it gives you the calories, serving size, how much fat's in it, and what the nutrients are. And so that's why I love the My Spark People. So if you have your phone and you can download one of those apps, it's a really cool tool to have during the holiday season. So you make sure you stay within your calorie budget and that you're getting the nutrients that you need to maintain and don't gain through the holiday. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and look at the nutrition facts label and start with the first thing you should look for is serving size. So whatever this is 1 cup is a serving size, but it also has the servings per container. So you can get 2 servings out of this particular thing. So if you ate the whole container, say it's a bag of chips, you would get 500 calories and not the 1 cup portion, which is what the nutrition facts label is based on. Okay. So nutrition facts labels are based on a 2,000 calorie diet, and they're based on a serving size. So looking here, it says here on the cereal box that 3/4 cup of cereal is 180 calories. So if you have 300, if you have 3/4 cup of cereal and it's 180 calories, that the serving size is on the top. Personally, my cup of cereal normally looks like the middle one, and my husband's normally looks like the bottom one. And these are called portion sizes. A portion size is different than a serving size because portions are what you actually eat, and a serving size is what the actual calorie intake is based on the nutrition facts label. And I have a really cutesy video that I actually use with my kids to help them teach them about portion size based on MyPlate. Megan, do you have the video for that?
I don't think I actually have the video, but I can let you share your screen if you want to put it up on your computer.
Okay. Let's see. Share screen.
Okay, you should be able to now.
Let me get that up. I actually got it pulled up. So do you see my screen? So,
yes, we can see. You'll just have to make it full screen for the video.
okay, let's see. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Miss Angie's Kitchen. Today, I want to talk to you about MyPlate, actually MyPlate, plate that I like to eat out of, but I want to refer it to the MyPlate that you see when we talk about it in PE or nutrition or physical education class. I love strawberries and cucumbers, and so today I thought I would share with you MyPlate with my favorite food. So here it is, MyPlate. Actually, MyPlate. So on my plate today, I have half of my plate with fruits and vegetables. My plate size is about 7.5-inch plate, which is about right because you should have between a 7 and 9-inch plate based on your age and weight. So here's my vegetables, and you could see that my favorites are cucumbers. It's about a fist size, which is a cup, which is the exact serving for a fruit or vegetable. Well, actually for a vegetable, excuse me. Fruits are about 3/4 to a 1/2 cup per serving, which, as you can see, it's a little smaller serving. Then on this side of my plate, you'll see I have hummus today. Hummus is my protein of choice today, but you could have meat, any kind of lean meat or shrimp or fish, and you'll see that it's the size of the palm of my hand. Then I have my whole grains, which today are crackers, and it should fit inside of your hand. So a serving of whole grain is a slice of bread, a handful of crackers, or a handful of cereal. Then to top it off with a yummy glass of milk, or of course it could be yogurt afterwards, a cup of yogurt, or a cheese stick. So to keep healthy, remember MyPlate. Thanks for joining me in Miss Angie's Kitchen. I hope you learned something about MyPlate today. I would love to hear what you put on your plate. Right now, I need to go eat MyPlate because I'm getting hungry. So I went to choosemyplate.gov to help me plan MyPlate. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to, do I have to unshare my screen? Okay, so the reason I wanted you to watch that video is because of portion size and serving size. And I want you to think about when during the holiday challenge, not just the nutrition facts, but applying the nutrition facts and thinking about your plate when you're filling your plate. And you have, just like you can have a tool, your phone as a tool to look up the nutrition facts label, you also have your hand to make sure that you're getting the correct servings of the fruits, vegetables, grains, proteins, and dairy that you need by just measuring it like I showed in the video. So I don't know about you, but this guy right here sitting on a Friday night with a bag of popcorn watching a movie is about what I look like. And normally I would eat that whole bag of popcorn and I would have eaten 210 calories. So what do you, so that's, I mean, that's why we're talking about the difference between serving size and portion size, because you always need to make sure you're checking those nutrition fact labels to make sure that you're getting the correct servings based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is calories, because we keep talking about calories. Calories, again, like I said, is based on a 2,000 calorie diet, and you can go to choosemyplate.gov, put in your age, your weight, your gender, and a couple of other things, and it'll actually tell you what your calorie serving should be per day. But all nutrition facts labels are based just on the 2,000 calorie diet, because that's about the norm of what most average adults intake during the day. So we've got calories next. I want you to look at the purple section here, because the purple section is your percent daily value. This percent daily value helps you decide whether you're getting the correct amount of nutrients and the right nutrients. Because if you look at the yellow and the blue, the yellow nutrients are the nutrients that you should get the least of. 5% or less should come from the yellow. So you should get less fat, less cholesterol, less sodium from the yellow group. And then the blue part is your nutrients that are good for you, because the one nutrient you want to get, if you want to go to the next one, next slide, you want to make sure you're getting enough fiber, because during the holiday challenge, the one way to make sure that you don't overeat when you're going out to these parties and whatever is that you're getting enough fiber, because fiber keeps you fuller longer, and it's good for you. So you want to limit the nutrients in the yellow, which are fats, which really you need to limit the saturated fats, limit the sodium, and then get enough fiber. Next. So also get enough of the nutrients at the vitamin A, C, and the minerals, calcium and iron. These 4 particular vitamins and minerals are the ones that are most likely on all nutrition labels. Also a lot of nutrition labels have more vitamins and minerals that they show. But if you are getting 20% or more of the ones in blue, which like calcium has 20% in the purple, that means that is a good serving of calcium. If you have 20% or more in the blue, in the vitamins and minerals, you're getting the correct amount of nutrients. So I'm going to let Megan take over from here, and she's actually going to talk about comparing our nutrition facts labels. Thank you, Megan.
Of course. Thank you so much, Angie. I'll just pause for a minute and see if anyone has any questions before we move forward. It could be about something Angie talked about, or just a question in general regarding the nutrition facts label. All right. Oh, well, now I've messed up my slides. Okay, so we're just going to look at these. Sorry about that. We're going to look at these two examples of crackers here. Now, the crackers I have here, one is an example of a saltine or a typical cracker you would find, one that is made out of refined grains. The second example is going to be a whole grain cracker. Now, like Angie mentioned, some of the important things we want to look at when we're talking about these crackers and comparing their labels are the serving size, the calories, the nutrients they have, the fats, the sugars, the proteins, all of those. Now, when I look at these two at first glance, it seems like maybe the white cracker or the refined grain cracker is a little better for us because the calories are less. But at second glance, you'll notice that this cracker, although it has a few more calories, it actually has more protein, it has more fiber, so it's really going to be the one to keep us fuller for longer. And I would encourage also reading the ingredients, which we're going to get to next. So again, we'll compare these two milks. I think milk is a really important one to look at just because there are so many different types of dairy products. They come in whole milk, they come in reduced fat, they come in non-fat, and sometimes it's hard to know what the difference between them all is. So first, skim milk would also be known as that non-fat milk you see in the grocery store. I want to say some brands, it's normally the blue top, and whole milk is normally the red top. So first, we're just going to look and compare the amount of fat in these. So the whole milk has about 8 grams of fat for a cup and 5 grams of saturated fat, where our skim milk has 0 grams of fat. The skim milk still does have the same sugar. It is reduced in cholesterol, and they have about the same sodium levels, but you'll still get the same amount of protein from both. The best part about dairy products is when they remove the fat from them, they don't remove any of the vitamins and nutrients. So I will always feel comfortable recommending the reduced fat or the non-fat versions of dairy products. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, maybe whole milk has better taste or maybe it's thicker. I would slowly transition to that reduced fat or the skim or the 1% until you get more used to it. And now there's so many other milk options as well when we get to almond milk and oat milk and things like that. So here's just another example of cheese. You can see the regular cheddar cheese at the top has about 9 grams of fat and 6 grams of saturated fat, but our reduced fat version at the bottom has about 6 grams of total fat and 4 grams of saturated fat. There are 3 main types of fat I feel like are important to take note of. That's unsaturated, which can kind of be referred to as the healthy fat. There is saturated fat, and then there is trans fat. Saturated and trans fat are listed on the nutrition label. The saturated fat is the one we want to limit. It mostly comes from animal products, so meats, cheeses, butter, things like that. And the other one, trans fat, is typically found in different oils that we fry things in. This is the one we want to try to avoid completely just because we have evidence that it really has negative long-lasting effects on our hearts and can lead to some of those chronic conditions like heart disease and high blood pressure. So I mentioned the ingredients earlier. This is in a nutrition label for oat cereal. So your ingredients list is always going to be listed under the nutrition facts label. When you look at the nutrition or the ingredients list, the items are placed with the ingredient that is used in the greatest amount first. So if I look at this, I know the first ingredient the one that's most plentiful in this cereal is whole grain oats. Now, if you look at an ingredients list and maybe you see sugar as the first or second ingredient, it's a guarantee that it's really high in sugar and maybe it should be avoided, especially when it comes to cereal. Now, I have these two loaves of bread here to kind of show how marketing can get to us. Because here we see both of these breads are brown, they both say wheat on the front. Surely they should both be whole wheat bread, right? Well, when we look at the ingredients facts label, we can see that the one on the left is the actual whole grain product, and the one on the right is actually a refined grain. Now, it still will be better for you than white bread because it is enriched wheat flour, so it still has some of those vitamins you need. But we know that enriched flours and white flours tend to lead to more abdominal fat than the traditional whole grain. So I would encourage you to choose the bread on the left in this situation. So now I want to talk a little bit about more decoding for labels because we see this all the time. Things are listed as fat-free, low-fat, light. What do they all mean? Well, for this, I can tell you that fat-free doesn't necessarily mean fat-free. It means that it has less than half a gram of fat per serving, which is a really small amount. But if you think about that can of soup or something that you're eating where it says it recommends you to only eat half of it, but you eat the whole thing, you're getting more fat than you actually anticipated. So like you can see here, reduced fat just means it's 25% less fat than the original product. Light is about 50% or a third less, fewer calories than the original product. So really you just have to make your best judgment here and decide which one will be better. Like I said earlier, I try to avoid a lot of fat-free items unless they're dairy products, just because they tend to add other ingredients in to replace the fat. So things that may not be great for our bodies as well. Like when you look at fat-free ranch dressing, it's typically adding some other kind of oil in, which may not qualify as more than a gram of fat per serving, but it's still affecting our bodies. Another one we see fairly often is this idea of reduced sodium or salt-free. Now, our bodies actually do need sodium to function, but the problem most of us experience is we get way too much sodium. It probably will not surprise you that a lot of the sodium we get doesn't come from our food we cook at home, but from food we eat out or processed food and fast food. I would first recommend to always rinse your canned vegetables, your beans, etc. Those are a great item to have in your pantry because they are shelf stable for a really long time, but they can have a lot of added sodium, even if you're getting the no salt added. The two standardized terms that are a good indication that it's actually low in sodium are going to be sodium-free and low sodium. So I would look for those two when you're picking out the no salt added reduced sodium items. Things like actually reduced sodium or less sodium or light in sodium still may have a high sodium content. They're just lower than the original product. Another great thing about nutrition facts labels is they can help us identify food allergens. That is so important today because we have so many gluten sensitivities and allergies to foods like nuts and dairies. So you will always find this in bold. If it contains, or even if it was processed in a place that had wheat, milk, tree nuts, etc. Last thing I want to make sure I show you is the nutrition facts label is actually getting a little change. A lot of bigger companies may have already switched over, so you may have noticed a change. It's not significant, so you might not have noticed, but hopefully in 2021, everything will switch over to be consistent again. Some of my favorite things that they have added is actually this added sugar line. So when we talk about sugar in our diets, natural sugar is okay. The things we get from fruits, the things we get from dairy products, is those added sugars we really have to watch out for. So now with the new label, we'll know how many grams of added sugars are actually included in a product. Other than that, at the top, they just kind of changed some sizing. At the bottom, they have taken out vitamin A and vitamin C. They realized that a lot of people were getting that amount of nutrient that they needed, and that we needed to focus a little more on the vitamin D and potassium. So you'll now see those on there instead, but iron and calcium will still remain. So I will open up the floor again for any more questions. This was just a quick run through of that nutrition facts label. So you're able to determine that serving size, look at those percent daily values, and make the best decision for your health. This will help you in the holiday challenge. It'll also help you all year long and when you're at the grocery store and making those decisions. And I will include a quick guide in your email to just kind of follow up so you could access that at home. Was any of this new information you found, or is there one thing you know now that you can change when you go to pick out items at the grocery store?
I didn't know about that app. That I knew about MyFitnessPal, but I didn't know about that other app. So I've forgotten the name of it, but I assume you'll post it.
It's Spark People Calories.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I'm definitely going to, with my dairy products, keep getting the low fat options because those are very important to do.
One of the things I found online, and it turned out really good, it was listed as vegan macaroni and cheese. And it actually turned out really good. Instead of using anything like cheese, it used some, low-fat milk. I used the 30 calorie a cup almond milk, some olive oil, a little bit of flour, and then nutritional yeast. And I couldn't and it did have some Dijon mustard in it. I could not tell the difference between it and macaroni and cheese. I mean, it had that good taste. So that's what I try to do, is look for recipes and look at the nutritional stuff on the recipes.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's a great point. Now that veganism and vegetarianism and some of those different ways of eating are becoming more accessible, there are a lot of good dairy-free options. If you need to avoid those for any medical reasons, or you just prefer the taste, or you kind of like to mix it up some. I know I use a lot of oat milk and almond milk, just more of my preference, but that doesn't mean I completely rule out dairy either.
No, I still have that addiction to cheddar cheese.
Great. Well, any more questions we can answer? I do have our contact information up on the screen. If you have any more questions you want to submit to us, if you are part of a group that you think could benefit from this information, Angie and I both do teach classes related to this, and just improving your eating habits and moving to that healthier lifestyle.